Hello, my name is Mark, and I'm with Don.
That is correct, Don Johnson.
Don Johnson. I like this boat. Can you tell me a little bit about what you did here?
This boat is what's known as the Cosine Wherry. It's a strip-planked construction method which is used a lot for canoes. In particular, what it consists of is ripping a series of very thin, small planks.
Raise your voice a little bit more.
Very thin, small planks that will conform to the shape in a smooth way. It bends and it twists, so it needs to go several different directions. So the Cosine Wherry is a classic design and being built with a mixture of classic and modern methods. Classic methods are wood and modern is epoxy and fiberglass.
Very good. Very good. So, and can you show me the little strips that you've put into the boat? Okay, this is the boat, and this is fiberglass right now, but we're going over to the strips because you need to do these strips one by one, right?
That is correct.
And you're going to also show me the diagram too. Cool.
Sure. All right, so redwood, we take a 2x4 and rip it down into, in essence, a 1/4 inch by 3/4 inch, 16-foot long strip, which gives it a lot of flexibility. It will twist and bend to a degree. Of course, if you do too much, it breaks. But
that's what you're going to need, though, right? When you're molding the boat, correct?
Yes, because these are compound curves. They'll start going one direction, they'll flatten out, and then they'll turn and rotate almost 90 degrees in some cases. So you need something that has that flexibility, but provides a sufficiently durable structure to hold the shape.
Okay, very cool. Now where can we go next? You want to show me? This is, you just put fiberglass over the top of this.
Just put fiberglass over. There's one layer right now, which is all in. This is plenty to give it enough strength and to keep the weight down.
Okay. So it's just only one. It's only just one strip of fiberglass over the top of it.
One layer of fiberglass.
Now, how long do you let it to dry? How long is it?
Overnight is plenty good enough. It'll set up within 4 hours.
Okay, very cool. Now, can you show me the tools over here that?
We've got some traditional ironworking tools.
This is doing it outside, you know, back in like the 16th and the 1700s.
Absolutely. This is what's called a forge.
This is our original My Gym's Outside.
Absolutely. No question about it. This is what's called a forge. And the starting point is this part of it. This part is really what you refer to as the forge. It has a blower. This blower itself is more than 100 years old.
Wow, and you got the crank too.
Yep, and so it forces air into this particular area. You place coal in here, light it up, and the air blowing through it raises the temperature quite a bit.
Now, why do you heat that up?
What you're doing is you're getting the iron, pieces of iron that you put in there,
right,
red hot. So it's red hot. So you place it in here, wait until it gets hot, then you pick it up with a set of tongs.
Wow.
Depending on specifically what you're looking for. And most of these are made by the iron worker himself. He'll make these.
God, that's old school.
Oh, very, very old school. Nothing at all about this is digital or modern. So once that's hot, you can pick it up, bring it over to the anvil, select a hammer, and you begin to shape it.
And then once
it begins to cool again, you put it back in, warm it up. If you need things turned in circles, they're jigs, various jigs. So
oh, wow.
Up a piece of this, and you'd begin turning it here.
Oh, that's cool that you bend that. That's awesome.
Turn it around this larger diameter than the smaller diameters. That's how these tanks.
And do you drop this in water at any time? What's this water bucket?
What you're through with shaping it, it's still quite hot. So basically you walk by and toss it in water and leave it there for a while to cool.
Wow, so that right there is that.
Yes.
Wow.
This is a little thicker. We had some of the smaller rod for these, but yes.
That is amazing, Don.
Started out like that, turns out like this.
Wow.
In about 15 or less minutes.
Wow. That's pretty quick though.
It's pretty quick. Yeah, once a guy gets going, he'll have multiple rods in the fire, You've heard about that, irons.
Right, irons in the fire, right?
And so there would be multiple pools warming up. He'd take one out, he'd beat on it, he'd bend it, put it back in the fire, take another one out and work it. So he might work half a dozen pieces of metal at the same time.
So how long does a boat like this take to make?
Like this?
Yes, sir.
We've been working on that a week and a half.
A week and a half. Okay. Wow.
So it was projected to be completed within 2 weeks, and we'll be most of the way there.
Okay, very good. Now, are you going to put that next to the Bill of Rights that's right over here?
That will be staying with the Bill of Rights. That is correct. It'll be down on the dock, on the boat itself, somewhere in that vicinity.
Now, how big is the Bill of Rights?
She's 136 feet long,
Wow.
23 feet wide, 127 tons.
127 tons. That's pretty big.
27 tons. She's a big boat.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah, big, expensive wooden boat.
So it's great. So they started doing this back in the 16th and 1700s when our ancestors came over to the colonies, and yeah, I mean it's the Mayflower. Even before the Mayflower, they were even doing this.
Oh yeah, ironworking goes back a very long.
So they first originally started doing this over in Virginia, where they met the Indians and they met everything. That's awesome.
Certainly.
That's awesome.
This particular design, the schooner, is primarily an American design. In the late 1700s, early 1800s is when this came into being. And it was a major improvement over the square riggers. Took far fewer people to sail her. She could point closer to the wind, typically faster.
Right.
So that was cutting edge design. A lot of the American Navy was schooners in the early days.
So the captains that run something of this length are actually can be captains of the Navy too, correct?
Potentially, yes, it could be. This is primarily laid out as a fishing boat would have been in the 1850s. One of the shoulder drafts, the Salt Banks or Georges Banks fishing schooners, is what the design is based on.
Okay, very cool. And this boat over here didn't take that long. It just took, like you said, a week and a half.
So far.
You have a design that you use, correct?
That is correct. This is one that goes back a ways. It's what's called a Cosine Wherry. Rip, Strip, and Row is the name of the book.
Wow.
Kind of a clever deal, and that's a photograph of the finished boat with the person rowing it.
That's very amazing.
And it goes through the discussion of forms, laying up the jig, and stations, building the transom, getting that part of it in place. And this is.
Wow.
See, there's a better shot in here, which is there. That's what the jig looks like.
Wow, that's pretty
So
amazing.
you end up with a series of stations, and you bend the redwood around these.
I see. Yeah, you have those stations. You just bend them around each. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm really appreciative. I mean, I'm a sailor.
Appreciate your interest.
I'm a sailor, and you're a sailor.
Absolutely.
So we're both sailors. I have a smaller sailboat, but I have a 30-foot Columbia slope. But you know what? She's
Nice boat.
it's not a bad boat. It has it stays on course very, very. It barely moves because. But anyway, though. So what's the biggest boat you've ever sailed?
The schooner.
The schooner.
136 foot. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yep, we own a Choiley Offshore 40 here in the marina that we lived aboard for a number of years.
Okay.
This is Doc. This is actually our iron worker. He was asking about the.
I was just going to start it up.
He's about to start it, so you have the opportunity to get some film for.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I was a nasty. I told the guys to go down to compartment A and we'll tie knots, so go down there and wait until I come and see them.
They're still there.
You know when I left? I still haven't gone down to see them. And they haven't tried to escape.
Wow.
There you go.
What's aboard is a group of 20 Sea Cadets. This is a training program for the U.S. Navy's Sea Cadet.
Yeah, I met those guys over at the marina bathroom. They're also out at sea for what, like 4 or 5 days.
5 days.
Yeah,
yes.
5 days. And you're like, oh, we're glad we can take showers. And I'm like,
Showers are good things.
showers are good things.
Showers are good things. Yes.
Well, I'll get this another day though. But thank you very much,
You're
gentlemen.
very welcome, Mark.
People, I'll tell you what. There's a lot of people that love stuff like this. Really.
Yeah,
So-
we want to do a lot more of it.
Did you see what I was making?
What were you making?
Hanks.
Yes, I showed him the hanks.
Show me the hanks. You're the steel guy.
He's the steel guy. This is the man that was making them.
Wow, those are pretty amazing because you go with a long rod and then you make it into that.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
And these go on the front of the sail, and that's what holds it on. This
Okay.
goes over the cable, which rattles around in here, and then it's sewn through the sail and holds it on.
Wow.
But that was the original design.
They really had their act together back then, didn't they?
And
They did, one way or another.
Okay, gentlemen. Well, thank you very much, and I do appreciate it. And I was like walking by, and I'm like, huh, I have to ask more questions.
Appreciate you doing that.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a good day.